Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Friday, July 10, 2026. It's after 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel for stocks and crypto and AI and memory stocks. This upcoming week we have big earnings. Stock market earnings season begins with big banks and financial companies. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, ASML, BlackRock, United Airlines, and Netflix. There's a lot of companies. Very important though. Morgan Stanley, Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs as well. USA economic data, we have CPI, core CPI, PPI, core PPI, inflation data. The new Fed Chairman Warsh will testify for 2 days. Unemployment claims, consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations to round out the end of that week for data. Stock market earnings season begins, very important. SKHYV debuted on the NASDAQ with their new ADR IPO. The temporary ticker symbol is SKHYV, and the permanent symbol will be SKHY in the future. Important to watch that. We'll look at that today. Apple sued OpenAI employees over alleged trade secret theft. 2 of their former employees got sued. And Circle received regulatory approval to establish its own national trust bank, which is good for crypto. Let's go to SPY. SPY, S&P 500 ETF. We bounced off that pivot point on the daily, $740, and now we're approaching the next resistance, 756, 767, and 780 are the pivot point resistances to the upside. If I redraw that symmetrical triangle, it is nice that we broke out of it, retested, and we're on our way towards the target. If I use a conservative bullish target, we should break out 5%. We should have continuation to hit this upper resistance of 780 if earnings season is good. If earnings season is really bad, the bearish case would be we pull back to 740 or if extreme, 723. And that's what I'm just watching for. QQQ NASDAQ, we bounced nicely off of that support level, 702. Piercing through the pivot point of 722, see if we could break out to 745 or all-time highs. If it's going to break out, it needs to break out 5% above 731, which would take us to that 769 resistance point. We have a window gap here. I will highlight it between 717 and 710 in the yellow box. We need to not fall below this area, and we should be okay. When I mean we should be okay, I'm just talking about the price only. I'm not actually forecasting too much of the earnings. So the earnings is the biggest X factor with inflation data, and as well as geopolitical news. Dow Jones, we had that pullback. And again, Dow Jones was a little bit too overbought just last week. And if I open that Bollinger Band, we hit that resistance point of 533. So I was a little bit more bearish on Dow Jones last week. Still in the golden up cross, however. So we approached that 20 EMA of 519 support, and then we rebounded to 526. Now Dow Jones needs to break above the all-time high of 533. So we're stuck between that rectangle. IWM, fading, but it's not over yet. Fading down for the past 7 days, but we've actually had this consolidation before, maybe 4 to 5 times. So if we hold above 293, and we definitely just held today above 294, try to get that 20 EMA bounce, rebound up to 300. If not, this could be a lower high, and then Russell 2000 could be in trouble. But we have to lose 291 support. Let's look at oil. We had a pop up on oil. So this is where the technical analysis really helps. And for me, I just need to have patience and a smaller position size, I would say, for myself, just to make sure I can withstand any volatility up or down. But last week, even though there wasn't that much news, there was this 200 EMA zone bounce off of 102. And we bounced 1, 2, 3, 4 days and hit that 20 EMA of 115 and then cooled down on the news. So was this predictable? I would say yes, because we had such a large MACD, and once that stochastic breaks up, meaning the price breaks above the 200 EMA, that probably will flag the algos to buy something or traders. But right now, when it just pulls back like that, there's probably some intraday support. We just need to really hold above 106 for USO. Natural gas, wow, crash. Talk about crash. So this is an interesting play where, thank goodness I got out of here in terms of I had traded UNG in May, and then I just exited because I saw and I felt that if it doesn't go high, keep going higher, we should make high, low, higher, high, higher, low. It should have went to 1250 or 13. But we see here we're having a resistance below $12 essentially, and that turned into a head and shoulders, and then somebody capitulated, crashed that. So that's why UNG does not respond to technicals very well. Oil, gas, gasoline does not respond to technicals, and I backtested them myself. I'm talking about EMAs, RSI, maybe Bollinger Band. It needs to get extreme, but stock indexes respond better to technical indicators is what I'm trying to say. Less commodities. Let's go to gold. Even though I just said that, it's really important though just to mark if there's a major event that happens. So a 50 EMA below, crossing below 200 EMA, my yellow below the red, that's a death cross. So that's not the sign to short. It just means, well, if somebody opened a position in November 2023 when we had a golden cross, then now would be the time to close that position just on pure technicals. That's like the purest technical strategy somebody could do. Is not even caring about the absolute high or the absolute low. Is just EMA golden up cross on a major asset, and there's fundamental catalyst reasons, that's a buy. When it golden crosses down, just close it. Close the position, take the profit. That would have been algorithmically, if that was done algorithmically, that's 120% gain on this chart in 992 days. 100% gain in 992 days. That's really good for gold. Unprecedented the past 5 or 10 years. So if we actually use those two spots for Fibonacci, we're hitting the 382 level and we're below the pivot point. There is that chance still for that bullish momentum that I was talking about for 1 or 2 weeks. So there's a mix right now. What I want to clarify is if somebody's in that 1,000-day trade or investment to probably sell some just on the technicals alone. If I'm neutral position, meaning I don't have a position in gold, is I'm actually looking for some kind of oversold capitulation crash bounce, even though we're downtrending. Or I'm also looking for a short, meaning if it if it rallies up, then I'm looking for a capitulation rejection off of that. It could happen very soon below 380. But what the indicators are telling me is, well, there's some momentum that's building. It's not ready to explode yet. So the long-winded answer is support 365, 373, 382 resistance, 396 resistance. See if that holds or not. Silver, about to death cross, but the momentum is building on that MACD. We had an RSI oversold, and I'm watching to see, are we going to get some kind of Bitcoin style rejection? We're going to get some kind of Bitcoin style rally rejection is what I'm saying. Higher low into 58. I'm looking for that. Or higher low, bounce into 60. We need to hold above 52, definitely. Let's go to SMH. DRAM as well. SMH, okay. So I'll be very honest. What am I seeing? I'm trying to reduce the bias, trying to reduce the hype in some of the hottest AI stocks and ETFs right now in the market that's in play. is we just bounced off the 50 EMA of 577. We're hitting that 20 EMA of 611. And now what remains to be seen is I'm still being cautious right now because I believe this could be a potential backside trade, meaning this could be the start of a downtrend, but it remains to be seen. It's still higher highs, higher lows over time. If this is a higher low, which it barely was, just barely a higher low above 570. So we're technically still in the uptrend. We're in a short-term downtrend right now. If 575 support holds, I need to see SMH rally probably off of earnings if it's going to be true. And this news, it's a little bit looking through SKHYV's perspective, is because if SKHYV's CEO said the supply chain is going to be under pressure throughout 2027 is going to be the worst. It's only July 2026. So he's saying in 1 year from now, it's going to get worse. And the supply shortages for 4 years going to 2030. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe this SMH rally might not be over yet, if that's the case. Interestingly, SMH stochastic RSI is oversold. The next MACD momentum is actually building right now with RSI neutral at 51. So it's not game over for SMH. DRAM, very similar. It was a nice uptrend, and then this is maybe the first time we're having problems, because if we're using the 20 blue line EMA, that was our support right up until July 1st. We broke down below that. But like I said, it's mixed. You can see it in the market right now. Is we double bottom, some people think we're going to go bullish, and then we have a double top. Some people think we're going bearish right now. So I'm going to keep it very simple. Not even play trend so much, just play support. $60 support, $65 resistance. We have a breakout above 65. Then I'm looking for 75, 80, all-time high breakout, bullish scenario. Consolidates, we could also be stuck in here for a while in this range. If it breaks down, I'm looking for, that could be very, very volatile. If it breaks down to 55, 47, here's where we get really into technical analysis. Use the anchored VWAP. We just bounced off of VWAP. It's $61. It's hard to see. It's my blue line in the middle. Blue line. We also use anchored volume profile from the bottom of the start. It's the most purchase price. Average price 61. Although we do have some support in the lower 50s. So watch out for that. This is the big number for me to watch out. I'm talking to myself right now. If we lose $60 on DRAM, then there's going to be a big problem in July. Okay, let's go to SPCX and SKHYV. So SPCX, unfortunately, the IPO, looking back, is I should have shorted 222 when I remember seeing like 200. I should have shorted that. But oh well, that's in the past now. And so now I'm looking for, okay, what's the trend now? It's angling down, downtrend for SPCX. And we could actually use Fibonacci and then invert it reverse way to see where could the targets be on the downside. 132, 115, 88. I remember a Morningstar news article was saying that the fair value in their calculation for SPCX was $63, which would it be more than 50% of the way down. So that's why this is a daily chart now. We've had enough information now. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Until it makes a lower low, then the next lower high, and then lower low. So SPCX slowly fading right now. The stochastic RSI is oversold, but the regular RSI is not extremely oversold. Although there is momentum building, it's large on the 4-hour, but it needs to be extremely oversold. And I have a position in SPCX right now, so I don't really want to see it crash too hard, but that was an investment for like 5 or 10 years from now, so I could just kind of forget about it. Let's go to SK Hynix, and temporarily it's SKHYV. And if we're looking at the candles right now, if I read that correctly, the debut price was 150 and it gapped up. It started out like over 14, 16% up. So there's the last retail 6% pop, and then it pulled back 4%. Now, what I want to point out here is I'm not trying to chase this too hard. And remember, instead of actually looking at SK Hynix on the NASDAQ, we could just look at SK Hynix, the actual foreign stock, the real stock. It's not exactly 100% correlated, but SK Hynix already had a negative 25% pullback after a double top, after a 2026 run of going up 363%, and now it's only 236%. So this is the problem that we're seeing with all AI stocks right now. Is if I draw one single trend line, the 2026 rally or the April 2026 rally, is everything's below the trend line. SK Hynix is below the trend line. SMH is below the trend line. DRAM is below the trend line. What else is there? Certain individual companies are still surviving, like AMD is still surviving. Intel actually has a problem pulling back after that double top. NVDA actually had that rally, which I was talking about last time. Beautiful. And so, need to look at SNDK. SNDK actually below that trend line, right? So certain AI memory stocks might have gotten too overbought, but is it completely over? Meaning, are we going to crash negative 50% in 1 month? I don't think so. The institutions, though, looks like they shorted down, took their profit. There's still a chance. And I think the next entry that I'm going to start thinking about for SNDK, it already passed, to be honest. But when it got to that 1500 range, that was a nice buy spot. But if it keeps crashing, let's say if we make a lower high and then we make another lower low, then 1400, 1200 for SNDK. Probably that's the same pattern that if this happens on SMH and DRAM, then I might want to pick some up lower. This is my mentality. This is just my personal opinion, and it could be wrong. But when we had the NVIDIA GPU shortages back in the beginning of the pandemic of 2020, 2021, 2022, and I remember GPUs being very sold out and difficult to purchase, and even buying one for my own PC. Well, I'm using an NVIDIA GPU on my computer right now. Is that at least for GPUs, there was that sold out period, and then it was really difficult, but it took like 5 years for the supply to stabilize. And then a problem happened again, but now this time it's with RAM and memory and storage and CPUs and GPUs, but it's on the enterprise side. So it's not really a consumer problem, it's an enterprise problem of where all these hardware assets for memory and storage is being bought out by these AI data centers for years. And consumers like me, we're not actually using the same components, but it increases the value of the company until it's either extreme overbought, like it sort of was here on June 26, where it poked out of there and we had the double top. But in terms of big EMAs, it's not game over yet. Not yet. So watch out for that lower high is what I'm saying. The lower high and then the turnaround there. Once I see this price pattern, which I'll draw here, meaning it's extreme, the rally from like April, and then it gets extreme, and then you double top, and then we're like right here right now in this price action, meaning it could bounce higher, but if it doesn't break the all-time high, then it's probably going to turn into a lower high, and then the momentum will break out, a breakdown, and stop out anybody who bought in this zone. This is probably the capitulation that could happen on this downside. That was a really long segment. Let's go to crypto, which has better news. right now. Honestly, crypto looking wonderful to me. Why? Why, you ask, is because after being in a sustained downtrend, which has been horrible, it's almost been 1 year. It's been 9 months of downtrend, of pain as a bull in crypto. I just stopped trading completely because I just said, okay, I'm just gonna wait for experience, wait for the big bottom. And is it near? It's could be near because the weekly chart, we have this bullish divergence that's been building with the RSI bullish divergence as well on the weekly chart. The daily chart, it's actually actually building and popped already. In terms of the squeeze, in terms of the MACD momentum, it happened already. We already had this market rally of 9%. But short-term double top below 2.2 trillion. I need to see this stay above 2.1 trillion, and then any shorts that are gonna try to short this, if we have a short squeeze, that's what's gonna explode and bring us up to 2.3 and 2.5 trillion. That's my opinion, my analysis. Bitcoin as well, very similar. We had that lower low in the price, hit us down all the way to 58,000. Stochastic oversold. Double bullish, triple bullish momentum divergence. Now we're trying to hold above $61,000 Bitcoin. Zoom in. And we're going to try to see if we can break out to these higher highs. If I was forced to buy Bitcoin right now, which is not the greatest spot as a trade, I have to have a 10% stop loss. So I might only do 10% position size. Just do a really small position over this weekend or something like similar to that, and then try to long-term position myself 20%. Why am I saying this? Because there is the research that's been going around, and it almost sounds like a myth right now, but it's actually not a myth, is there's been Instagram or TradingView posts that says, whenever we have a crypto rally, we usually rally up for 1,064 days, and then we have a crash for 365 days, which basically means that we go up for 3 years in Bitcoin, and then we come down for 1 year. Bull market up for 3 years, bear market down for 1 year. So it's actually almost going to be it's going to almost be the 1 year end of the potential bear market in 3 months from now. In October 2026 should theoretically be the turnaround bottom for crypto if that theory pattern holds, which it might, and it's been holding for this whole time of Bitcoin's life existence. So that's why I'm very, very interested in that, right? Basically 1,000 days up, and the average being about 1 year to the bottom, or a little bit more than that. Then you have 1,000 days up, and then around 1 year to hit the bottom. Then you have 1,000 days up, 1 year, or even sometimes this one was bad, it's about 1.5 years, but close enough, 1 year to the bottom. Then from that spot, we had our 1,000 days up, and we hit the top of the market, October 2025. Then the earliest we can see the reversal from that spot would be somewhere around the fall of 2026. So this chart that I'm explaining now might be the most important technical analysis price pattern for Bitcoin and crypto. More important than any technical indicator that I might be able to show on the charts. Just knowing that pattern alone, that's why I'm starting to get excited for crypto, if it's true. Let's actually look at some altcoins here. Let's go to Ethereum. You hear my voice. It's starting to begin. The crypto hype. It's close. And why is it important for Ethereum? Because we're down negative 60, negative 65, 70%, negative 60% down. That's a discount to me. I trade Ethereum, cryptos, they're like digital commodities, digital collectibles. I view it almost the same, sometimes like Pokemon cards or baseball cards. or art paintings or anything like that of value, or even vintage coins, is it's a digital. Yes, there's blockchain technology, but it's also a digital token, right? So it has value. It just depends on what the environment that we're in right now, the regime that we're in. And after we pull back 60%, even though, yes, we could pull back negative 90% all the way down, and that's an automatic buy for me. I could do it with my eyes closed without any hesitation, meaning buy bull, is negative 60% is still a decent place of value. And why is it stopping here for Ethereum is we have that support level here of 1500 support. Next major level down would be 1000, which I'm also interested in. But how we will know on the weekly chart for Ethereum, very simple. I could draw one trend line. Once we break out of the trend line right at this exact spot we must break out above basically 2000. Right? Nice even number. We have to break out above there. Until we break out of there, there's no bull trend yet. It's very close though. And sometimes it takes 3 to 6 months. But that's crypto. The patience is the key. So for me on crypto this year, I am really trying not to trade crypto that much. I'm trying to do my 2022 playbook, 2023 playbook, which is this over here on the left side. And this is probably more important than any analysis I could give someone, is I'm just waiting for what? I'm waiting for the double bottom. I'm waiting for the support level. I'm waiting for the price to go sideways and stop crashing. Then I'm going to get back in crypto. That's the time. Get back in. That was the 2022, 2023 playbook for crypto. And I'm about to do it again. When I say about, it might take, 3, 6, 9, 12 months, but it's about to happen again. That's what it feels like on the charts. We're somewhere in this zone right now. Somewhere in that zone. So support needs to hold above 1500. I need to see a breakout above 2000 or this pullback. Oh, if we get a double bottom, I'm just auto buying that. In a good way. XRP. Let's use Bitstamp. We get a little more price information. There's a lot more price information. So on this weekly chart, I'm thinking like an investor now. And okay, we have that support line here. We have the triangle as well. We also have this resistance. So I'm seeing multiple trend lines in play. And the most obvious support to me looks like right here at 88 cents. Let's see if that's also a Fibonacci level. This is the beauty of it. It is close. It's a 786 level. Fibonacci, beautiful. So I want to see it get to that level, 80, 75 cents, then I'm going to buy. Or it needs to turn around. Double bottom, upside down head and shoulders, reversal. And the hardest thing with crypto investing is just waiting, getting through that negativity fear period and just patiently waiting, because it's been the same problem for like 5 years straight. Is stocks go up a lot, Bitcoin goes up a lot, then people realize, wait, Bitcoin doesn't have that much value or utility. Same thing with Ethereum or meme coins. Then it all capitulation flash crashes. Then everyone quits the market. It's a cycle. There's fear in the market. People quit the market. People hate the market. People dislike crypto. And then something happens where there's a bullish catalyst, or the price turns around, or it gets so cheap that we're kind of thinking there's a 95% discount here. Then we get back in, start accumulation, and the phase starts again. We're in the entry of that phase. I shouldn't say entry. We're entering into that type of environment. Solana, beautiful as well. Somebody caught this, bounced off with $66 support, 67. And I can still see there is that bullish momentum forming on the squeeze, the RSI, and the MACD histogram as well. It's building. Same thing with Ethereum. Until we break above that trend line, which almost happened yesterday. Almost. That's where we are very close. If it's going to happen somewhere around now, this year, what I mean now, this rest of 2026 is where it could happen. The bullish divergence, breakout retest. If that holds, ooh, beautiful double bottom or higher low, and then let's get back in there. Forget overpriced memory. Forget overpriced AI stocks. Solana, meme coins, can we get the hype back? It's going to come later after the uptrend continues. Let's flash card style look at other altcoins. Binance Coin holding above support 552. Rapid Fire Zcash already had its nice rally. Needs to hold above 383. See if we get a breakout above 700. Dash. Some of those coins lost momentum and hype. But Dash needs to hold above $33. Zen hitting that lower low. I'm not in Zen because the momentum is fading, right? Why do we need to buy Zen when we have AI stocks right now? But once it gets really oversold and there's some kind of squeeze, we might get another pop on that. $300 XMR Monero support, 204 ICP support. And some of these is a nice double bottom play. That was February, right? So this is the patience aspect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Is on a Tron weekly, when we had the brutal sell-off 1 year ago, this is kind of where we're at right now in modern times of July 2026. I need to see this happen, a rally, and then the cool-off rally, and then what do I see? If we get another weekly double bottom on any crypto, I'm going to buy that. So this one I missed because I was doing other stock trading, but this is the exact formula. I think I marked it for somebody, and if you caught it, beautiful. This crypto trading. And somebody might think, oh, it's not really that much, but it's 30%. Easy trade. But now, do I want to buy that? Not really. Because this is the exact same SMH problem that we're having. The memory problem is the uptrend, trend line got broken down, and this could easily turn into a lower high. So I don't want to see that happen. It's been a while since we looked at Doge. Doge, unfortunately, in the brutal downtrend. But sometimes Doge, once we get that longer term double bottom, that's where I want to enter. But do I want to enter on a falling knife? Answer to me is no, I don't. Very dangerous to want to do that. How do we know it's going to be the bottom? When I draw a Fibonacci like this, like a 0.88 retrace, and then the price bounces off that 5-6 times for 1 or 2 years, that's the big bottom. This is entering into that bottom formation. Let's end with SHIB. And this almost looks like SpaceX IPO. Right? If you look on a monthly, this sort of looks like the SpaceX IPO, where you had the initial hype, the pullback, a rally attempt, and then the sell-off as well. So it's happening on Shiba Inu as well on a monthly. So if I want to try to figure out what's going on here, is I can draw the Fibonacci in reverse and then invert it in the settings. Oh, it must be way down there. Okay, so for crypto, sometimes it doesn't work that well. But we'll just flip the markers. Because it's Shiba Inu, the target is, it's not calculating. It's all the way down here, okay. So we can't really rely on it for Shiba Inu as well. What I will rely on is a trend line. That's reliable, or a horizontal line. So what Shiba Inu needs is it needs to reclaim this 631. Same thing with Doge. I need to see the double bottom before I all in, or before I do large position on SHIB. It's not happening right now. That's why patience and discipline is the absolute key right now for crypto. It will turn around someday. The only question is, when will the selling stop? And when will there be catalysts in the news about crypto? That's what we need. It's all about patience and discipline. Even for myself, I have to have a lot more patience and discipline in my own trading and investing. So I'm talking to myself as well right now. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you liked this video, if you learned something from this video, go and click subscribe, click the like button, leave a nice comment. I hope you have a nice week. And right now, there's World Cup FIFA. It's about to end this month. It's going to be glorious to watch. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.